Blog Talk Radio.
Do you ever stop to wonder if people really knew the truth about what was going on in the world, if they would be any different? Because quite frankly, normal abandoned me a long time ago. My name is Dakota Frandsen. I am the specialist of the strange and fucked up. You'll never see the world the same way once you stick with me. Nothing is off limits. And you'll never know what world I'll be coming from for each episode. Listen in. And wait for your world to be changed forever.
Good evening, ghosts, goblins, and ghouls, and welcome to another special episode of Strange Truths, the story of Halloween. My name is Dakota Frandsen. I am the one, the only specialist of the strange. Last night we went on a deep bit into the brief history behind Halloween. Some of the stories, some of the fun little games, like trick-or-treating, how that all got started, and we had discussed and discovered that it's simply, most of the rituals can easily be summed up into ways of just simply surviving the harshness of winter. However, I wanted to dig deeper into this, because the whole point behind this new segment, Strange Truths, is to reveal the truth behind the mystery. So what can we reveal about Halloween? Truly a time when spirits are at their most active? Is it really the point? The lines between worlds grow dim. Perhaps it is an astronomical alignment. Thoughts? Perhaps it is something else. I'll never really be sure. But before we continue on to today's episode, I must give a quick shout out, a quick birthday shout out to one of my new friends, a friend Violet, her birthday today. Happy birthday, Violet. Much love. I miss talking to you guys. She was on my trip to Ireland and Scotland back in March. She was part of the group. And quite the group it has been. I will admit it. So I just wanted to give a brief birthday shout out to her. So happy birthday, Violet. Hope you had a good one. I wish I knew that about you. That makes you kind of interesting. Anyway, back to the show. Because the winter starting usually around this time frame, for many regions been associated with the origins of Halloween, basically anyone of Irish descent. So, YOLO! That explains a bit. Anyway, like I said last night, a lot of these comparisons for how certain holidays and certain stories start always seem kind of a poetic sense. Because winter has the leaves falling from the trees and plants dying and things going into a long rest to prepare for the new so they can stay warm during the spring until spring comes, winter is commonly associated with death. And it's quite safe to say that Halloween, all the way back for thousands and thousands of years, simply started as a tradition to help prepare for the winter. Even as time went on, it became more commercialized, more altered over the times. Still, essentially, all it was just preparing for the winter. Do spirits seem to be more active around this time frame? Based on my experience, not exactly. Spirits, ghosts, activity, things like this seem to be affected by a number of different things. Moon phases, weather patterns, hell, even areas of natural disasters or man-made disasters even. All of these seem to affect it. And a lot of what helps, how can I say this? This is purely speculation on my behalf, and I know that there's some people who have also leaned towards this possibility, but for the parts of paranormal activity that are in fact real, may have something to do with the quote-unquote quantum realm that's featured in the Ant-Man movies. That being said, in theory, the only way that the certain timing of the year can really affect how spirits are able to interact with the physical world. The season where there tends to be more lightning storms. If a natural disaster happens, I do believe there's a story about a gray man believed to be the spirit of Blackbeard. Don't quote me exactly, but I believe this is right around the Florida up to North Carolina region. Believe that this gray man is a sign of a coming hurricane, and whenever a hurricane comes in, the spirit is said to approach, and the story behind it is believed that he is trying to warn somebody, or he's trying to come back for somebody. Possibly a girlfriend is a story that's been tossed around, but it's hard to say. I kind of want to check this out on my own, but that also requires getting thrown into the middle of a hurricane. In Idaho, we don't really get a lot of natural disasters. Certain areas you might get mudslides, you might get avalanches, but another big one is forest fires. That pretty much happens all the time in Idaho, starting right around June, July, right around in there. Anyway, the only time certain times of the year can affect spiritual activity is if the season happens to bring more lightning storms, or there seems to be factors where a person's mental health can also. I have a few ideas to test out this theory, but the way to set up the equipment required it's difficult. I'm just going to say it. It's difficult to attain, it's difficult to gather funds for, so on and so forth. And because the winter, there's SAD syndrome, seasonal affective disorder, things like that, and there's always a spike in suicide rates, domestic violence, things like that around this time of year associated with the holidays. Trust me, I'm feeling kind of those emotions right now. But that's the only way that of the year can have any effect. It does not have anything to do with dimensional planes crossing. In fact, that is a term that has completely been gunked up by science fiction writers. It's very hard to explain, and I can go on and on about this, but dimensions are like latitude, longitude, X, Y, Z. That's dimensions. Doesn't have anything to do with alternate realms or alternate universes. Could be possible that multiple realms or universes or quote-unquote or spiritual planes, as people try to claim, are crossing over. Is, like I said, something about the quantum mechanics of it. It's all tied together, created by the same force. And one of the theories I have, and this is bumping off of Divine Matrix, it's a concept that is made popular by scientist Greg Braden. If you have a chance to read any, and I mean any of his books, or check out any of his lectures, you can find some on YouTube, or I want to check out that service called Gaia that has supposed to have a lot of this information. I'm kind of interested in checking that out one of these days. I believe that there's something there, and that in the quantum fabric universe, somehow we can manipulate it. And stuff like that is what causes spirits to happen. Now, another thing I wanted to discuss was, also mentioned last night that there was a tradition where it's believed to have started Bloody Mary, to where young girls, what they would do is that they would go into a dimly lit room in the middle of the night with only candlelight helping them out. They would stare in a mirror, and they believe that the face that would appear in the mirror would be that of their future husband. And they believe that this somehow got turned into Bloody Mary. What causes this? What causes it? Because a lot of psychic methods involve doing just that. Staring into a reflective surface until you start seeing crap. Now, could it be possible that we can control what we see, or we can see the future? Maybe. Again, I believe that it may have bounced back to quantum mechanics. But even the most brilliant minds on this earth, people way, way, way smarter than me in this regard, can admit that the quantum realm, quantum mechanics, is weird. And that if you try to claim you understand it, you really don't. Because that is the manifestation of the very fabric of the universe. This will be brought up in many more episodes of Strange Truth, so I will leave it on that note. But another thing that I like to try to get people to remember is that when it comes to dealing with the mind and experiencing these type of phenomenon, sometimes you got to learn a bit of psychology. You got to learn a lot about many, many, many different fields to try to rule out any possibilities and try to give any alternate explanations. Basically says it's not in fact something supernatural. It's just something freaky that's completely normal. And Bloody Mary is a perfect example of it. Seeing things in the mirror after staring at it for a long time, especially if you're in a room with minimal lighting, there is a psychological phenomenon, a type of optical illusion referred to as peripheral fading, or the Troxler effect. And basically, what it is that when you stare at a surface, your mind starts to register things in your peripheral vision as unimportant. So essentially, it edits it out. Like how they say everybody can see their nose, but our mind chooses to edit it out because, it's always there. It's unimportant. Unless for some reason it's suddenly turning green or you go cross-eyed enough, that's when it'll start to register. Oh, wait, something there. Oh, it's my nose. Stuff like that. And during a lot of testing, there have actually, I know I am stuttering like crazy. I'm sorry, I'm just tired tonight. Now, there was actually a study done at the University of Urbino in Italy, where a man named Giovanni Caputo had, essentially what he did, he had 50 participants stare into a mirror for about 10 minutes. He said most of them saw deformations of their face. A few of them saw an animal, commonly a pig or a cat. Some said that they saw somebody they didn't even recognize. And some saw what looked like monsters. Now, could Bloody Mary be a side effect of something like this? As a matter of fact, yes. It is possible, because they have also found in other studies that most of the time when people are told that a location is haunted, that's when they start to say they experienced something. And people that weren't told that a location was haunted, they would, most of the time, they would say that they didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. So it could very well be a situation where we are able to consciously alter our own perception. Because this is a known psychological phenomenon, this is what draws a lot of ghost claims into question. Because mind is a freaky thing no matter what you do. And usually when someone comes to me claiming, oh, they're seeing things in the mirror, there's usually backup tests I do. Like I use the flash on, in one case I had the flash on a camera to basically determine the reason why they were seeing stuff was just because of the way the streaks from the mirror being cleaned were gathering up. This was actually at an elementary school, and the kids said they started seeing things in this mirror. And all it was just the way the mirror was being cleaned. The flash from a camera helped reveal that. So Bloody Mary could very well be the same thing. You're told to expect some horrible, ghostly, witch-looking thing, and then the Troxler effect kicks in. That's how it starts to bend your mind. Then that's how your mind starts to bend your vision. It's truly fascinating when you think about it. One way I've always wanted to test these is to get my hands on a thermal camera, because this is the technology that's readily available to measure energy differences that would register as heat. So, if there was any significance of change in the heat patterns, maybe that could indicate something ghostly going on. But that's a discussion for another time. Because this is a subject that is so widely spread and so widely misunderstood due to the social stigma that it's going to take a lot to sort out what's real and what's not. And there's also enough to just figure out the parts that's real, like, okay, is it this happening or is it this happening? A lot of research that needs to be done. I have a few ideas that I would like to discuss on future episodes, but unfortunately, we are running out of time. So I hope you enjoyed this Halloween special, that you had a fun and safe Halloween. I've seen some awesome costumes out there. I have to say a couple of my favorites were this woman who dressed up as Hela from Thor Ragnarok. She pulled that off amazingly. I think on Instagram, Kat Dennings, I have to give this one a shout out. Like, Kat Dennings dressed up as Mandy from the Nicolas Cage movie. Mandy, who some of you may know, my company, Legion M, helped put out. So I'm kind of biased. She pulled that one off as well. I saw a Lego Batman and Robin. That looked pretty cool. I saw a pretty accurate, almost screen replica of a Wonder Woman costume. I also saw some homemade butterflies. Those were absolutely adorable. What was it? Iron Man. Anyway, but like I said, I hope y'all have fun tonight. I hope you kiddos got lots and lots of candy, and make sure you hide them so you don't, and try to hide them from your parents so Jimmy Kimmel can't fuck with your heads. I don't know if he's still doing that this year. Nevertheless, hide your candy before your parents eat it all. I hope y'all be safe, have fun. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If some of you are attending the live Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures episodes, tell me if you saw anything, man. It's been kind of chaotic, and I'm feeling kind of out of it right now. So, I kind of had a busy day myself today, so I think I'm going to work on some writing as to when I let you guys go, and I'm going to crash for the night. This episode was sponsored by Remo Security Systems. As the holidays approach and the unfavorables of society start to emerge, set up extra eyes on your home to look out for incoming packages and to protect your home from potential intruders with their easy-to-install cameras. A link is set up in episode description. You want to find me on Facebook, social media, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. I have a list on my blog. You can check it out there. Those are all the accounts I monitor myself. So I think I'm going to let you guys go now. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Tune in this Friday, where I think we're going to discuss some of this immigration crap that's going on with Donald Trump sending all those troops to the border. I think we're going to talk about that this Friday. I'll see you then. Adios. And have a wonderful night.